All right. See, does that work now? There you go. Perfect. All right. Everybody have sound now? You guys have sound? Shows on my end that the sound's working. Okay. Is it good? All right, great. I'm sorry about that. I haven't been live streaming in quite a while. In fact, this is kind of impromptu for me. I'm going to be up probably for the next 4 hours working on my encyclopedia of coins. So I just decided maybe to take a quick break and catch up with you guys. If you don't know, I'm Charles Morgan. I'm the editor of CoinWeek. I'm one of the few talented people who bring you CoinWeek every day. We also launched a new website last month called comicweek.com, which I contribute to. It's a sort of more of a team effort because I'm not really an expert in comics, but I do like them. And I remember collecting them all the way back when I was a kid. I used to get G.I. Joe and Transformers when Marvel put those out, and then I read Sandman in high school, and I was part of that Image revolution when that came out. I read a lot of those utterly terrible comics in the mid-90s. But anyway, so we're doing comics and we're doing coins. And later in the year, we're planning to launch 2 more websites. We're going to do collectible cards and we're going to do stamps. So that should be cool. And I sort of have a inkling that we might do something about video games at some point. But obviously with Coin Week, we're primarily focused on numismatics. We're plugged in at the highest levels of the industry. We are significant coin researchers, writers. You see my library behind me, that's all coin books. So that's what we do. In fact, one of the reasons I wanted to stream today is to talk to you about a lot of cool books I've been picking up. I just got back from the EAC, the Early American Coppers Convention, which was held in Dayton, Ohio. I drove there from Virginia. It was like a 9-hour drive, and it rained the whole way home. So I went there. The EAC show was packed, full people. The copper community is thriving. The EAC club has about, I think it has about 1,100 active members. These are like, your specialist collectors who are into early American copper coins, large cents, half cents, and also colonials. The colonial group has its own sort of offshoot club, C4, which has some very sophisticated collectors. Of course, collecting colonial coins is an expensive pursuit. It's not for everybody, but you don't have to be a millionaire or have like a 6-figure salary to collect a nice collection of early American copper coins, large cents and half cents. So one of the things I did when I was there, I filmed several segments. Former Coin World editor Beth Deischer, who's heading up the anti-counterfeiting task force, gave a 1-hour report about the things that are going on with her work. She's working with federal law enforcement agencies and the collecting community in order to try to help mitigate the negative impact of counterfeits on the market. Counterfeit coins have been a fact of life for coin collectors. Believe it or not, all the way back to the very beginnings of the coin collecting hobby, and then counterfeits have been the bane of the issuing mint's existence since as long as there have been coins. The counterfeits that we're seeing now are highly sophisticated, and they're so sophisticated that unless you look at particular die markers that are similar or identical between coins, it's easy to pass some of these off as real. In the copper coin area, for early coppers, the way they're making counterfeits is they're taking coal, cent and half cent planchets, and they're striking the counterfeit coins on top of them, basically using a host coin, a legitimate real host coin, as a source for the design, and then they're imprinting that design on numerous coal planchets. Now, if you're a numismatist, one of the things you would think about is that the coins can look completely authentic, right? And it can be on the right type of planchet. But what happens when a coin wears? It becomes lighter. It sweats some of the weight off. And so what happens is these counterfeits are a little bit lighter, but it's negligible, and you'd need to put it on a machine to really be able to tell. And so this is just one of the ways that you can stop this. Jack Young, who's written a number of really informative and important articles on the subject of struck counterfeits, was at the show. He's a member of the AAC and was part of the organizing committee for the Dayton show. So he has done quite a bit of work to help illuminate this problem and to let members of the copper community at least be aware of which coins to look for and what are the suspicious traits. Some of these struck counterfeits are at the show, and collectors were trying to take a shot at seeing if they could find out for themselves which coins are counterfeit and not. We filmed, Bill Eckberg gave a pretty interesting presentation. Also, Ed Furman gave a presentation on some new varieties. So I think we're going to probably end up with 3 or 4 real high quality videos from the EAC that we'll put online, and that'll be rolled out over the course of the next several months. The EAC videos tend to take me quite a while, probably 30-40 hours, because I don't just take the slideshow that they presented, in their dimly lit room and just throw it up online so you can just see it. I try to re-illustrate it, and that takes some time. Over the weekend, I'm going to be working on a video I have shot with Q David Bowers, which will be posted on YouTube probably on Monday. He was showing off an early U.S. gold coin collection, a very important one that's going to be offered at the A&A in the summer. And so we have some 4K video footage of some of these great coins. These are the Big Tens. These are the beachfront property of the U.S. gold coin series, and some really great examples that were going to be auctioned. Again, these are hugely expensive coins, but numismatists, you can always benefit from learning about them, seeing them. They are absolutely beautiful. I think they're the most beautiful gold coins that the government ever made, and that includes the Saints. So I got that for you, and then we got a lot of great stuff. NGC let me go behind the scenes. I filmed them grading some paper money and some coins. Got those videos that we're going to finish. We have some kind of interesting metals and tokens that we filmed. If you haven't watched our video of a YouTube unboxing video that we put up a couple weeks ago, we partnered with eBay. For the next couple of months, we're going to be buying coins off of eBay, just like you might. We're going to do our due diligence. You have to do your due diligence when you buy any coin online. So we're going to look for certified coins. We're going to look for coins that we have knowledge about, that we think we can tell are authentic, from reputable sellers. And we're going to buy these coins. We're going to bring them in. We're going to unbox them. And then guess what? We're going to give one away a week until we've exhausted our inventory of these coins. We've been doing coin giveaways for about 5 years now. You can go to our Facebook page every Monday to see what that week's giveaway is. On our website, when you go to to register, you'll see the entire list of everybody who's won from the beginning in sort of reverse descending order. This is not a phony made-up contest or anything. This is something we do to just basically thank the fans with how you guys like coming to our site and supporting the work we do. The major institutions in the hobby wouldn't give us the access that they give us and allow us to create a high quality independent product. We try to do a lot more than just tell you every time the mint puts something out, which is essentially what you get most of the time from our trade. So there's that. So let me show you off some books I bought. My wife is always not as enthusiastic about new books as I am, because you see I have too much as it is. In fact, one of the things I'm doing this weekend is I'm taking some old numismatic books from the 70s and 80s. I mean, these are outdated, but I'm going through them page by page to see if there's anything I don't know, and then taking that information, putting it in my encyclopedia, and then recycling these books. I'd give them away to you guys, but really I don't know if you do. It doesn't do you any good to get a 1988 copy of Dave Akers' gold coin book. It's completely outdated. The only thing you're going to get out of it is like the 1914D quarter eagle is a greenish gold, and the 1911 is yellowish gold. I mean, this is pretty much the kind of information that's exclusively in that book that wouldn't be anywhere else. But I want to look through it, make sure, before I get rid of it. But anyway, here are my new stashes, and here we go. You won't see too many of these. I think only 250 of them are made. This is Treasury Notes of the War of 1812 by Dr. Don Kagan. He is the owner of Kagan's. I actually bought 5 of these. Okay. I think that, like I said, I think there's only 250. It's a limited edition book. There you see the little card there. He actually personalized it to me, except even though I've known Don for years, he does not apparently know my last name is Morgan and not Moore. So when I'm dead and this goes in a Colby and Fanning auction, that'll be a funny catalog entry. Anyway, so I have 5 of them, and I'm going to give 4 of those away. So if first 4 people who, let's see, first 4 people who email me at charles@coinweek.com with a cool or amusing coin story that I can put up on CoinWeek, has to be publishable. Photos would be appreciated. Send me your address and I'll send you a book. First 4. All right, next thing. I got this. Yeah, this is a great book. 100 Greatest Ancient Coins by Harlan Burke. This is beautiful. Beautiful book by Whitman. And I have every book in this series. It has, basically one of the things, if you read our article about it, not only does it have great photos, but these coins are presented in this book in chronological order of when they were issued. And there's a timeline at the bottom. In the back, in the appendices, you can see the coins next to each other in a side-by-side comparison. So this is a really great book. Again, you don't have to collect ancient coins. You don't have to be a millionaire. Some of these coins actually you can afford. But a book like this really just helps you appreciate like the art, the history of numismatics. U.S. coinage has borrowed a lot from antiquity. E pluribus unum, the Latin inscriptions, the fasces on the back of the Mercury dime, things like that are borrowed from antiquity. So it is kind of cool to see a book like this. And also, I have a soft spot in my heart for the series because Whitman had hired Hubert Walker, my assistant editor at CoinWeek, and I to write the newest installment of this series, which we have finished and turned in and should be published by the end of this year. And that's going to be 100 Greatest Modern World Coins. It will likely be the largest volume in the series. I think we turned in a manuscript that was a couple hundred pages. And I felt when we were writing it that a lot of these coins, which most of them are from the early 20th century, are from points in time, events, cover places that people, maybe Americans aren't exactly as familiar with. And so instead of just saying, oh, here's a rare Chinese coin, and here's on the obverse is a car, and on the reverse is some characters, we go into quite a bit of detail, and we try to explain, what was happening in the country at the time. Why was the coin made? Was the coin successfully distributed? What is the coin rarity like now? How is it sold? What's a record price? So there's a lot of Canadian coins, a lot of Chinese coins, a lot of British coins, some cool South American coins, some cool Australian coins. We have a couple cool German coins. Some really just poignant, kick you in the gut stories about some of these coins. There's the Lud's Ghetto coinage that was made in 1942-43 in Poland. Just it's an excruciating story. We go in quite a bit of detail about just how horrific the living situation was at the time when these coins are made and who was responsible for them being made and why the original designs are rejected. We talk about the Boer War. We talk about like warlords, and we talk about the coronation of important people, and we talk about kings at the end of their reigns, and just all sorts of things going to these coins. So I hope you guys get to see it by the end of the year. I know they're working on it. I hope I didn't screw up too badly when we were doing our research and writing it. I'm sure I'll hear. So that'll be coming out. But in the interim, you can get this 100 Greatest Ancient Coins to get your appetite whet. And again, Harlan Burke will be a guest on the CoinWeek podcast next week. We're talking about this book. I ask him a bunch of questions that make me sound like a complete idiot because he's so smart. There's no way I can compete with him on ancient coins. It's totally his bailiwick. And if you like to see more about ancient coins, check out our YouTube video with Mike Beal and CoinWeek ancient coin writer Mike Markowitz. They go coin by coin through a multi-million-dollar coin collection, and you usually don't see videos where coin collectors are sitting there with their coins laid out on a dining room table talking to an expert about them. It's a really cool video. It's on our YouTube channel. It's about 48 minutes long, but it's worth your time. So anyway, here's book number 2. So Whitman, again, has graced me with a bunch of really interesting books you should be aware of. If you collect barber coins, they've released the 2nd edition of their Bauer series guidebook of barber silver coins. This is a $30 book. It's pretty beefy. It doesn't just cover dimes or quarters or half dollars. It covers all 3. This is an expanded edition. It's got some, more information, more pricing information. It's very good. I have on my bookshelf almost I believe every one of these. I refer to them all the time. I'm a writer, so I do have to go back and forth to them. There's some information that I get myself from other sources, especially like population reports and what the latest auction record is. But if you want to know on a coin-by-coin basis, that cheat sheet, something that when you're building your set, a way you can basically use a checklist to mark what you have, this is a great book. Also, in its 3rd edition, is the Bauer's Guidebook of Lincoln Cents. Okay, the coin that keeps on kicking. Coin that should have been eliminated when I was a kid, still around, but a lot of people love Lincoln Cents. And this goes into as an appendix with errors by Fred Weinberg. It has your date by date and your different type of analysis per date on each of these coins. Some beautiful photographs. And an explanation of some key varieties. This will not replace your cherry picker's guide, but it will give you a pretty good insight into the value of these coins, especially in the collector grades for most of these. Even when you're talking about the Wheaties, good for up to MS65 red. So you got a wide spectrum. You don't have to, again, you can be a penny board collector and get something good out of this. Then if you want to get, let's see, I'll say that one. Here's the expanded 6th edition of a guidebook to Morgan silver dollars. This is like probably the most popular coin collected outside of the Silver Eagle, and maybe this is more popular than the Silver Eagle. I don't know, but it'd really be nice to see a guidebook to toned Morgan dollars. If anybody's listening and wants to write that book and do the research, you can throw price guides completely out the window when it comes to beautifully toned Morgan dollars, and then you can also lose your ass buying ugly toned Morgan dollars from somebody who's trying to convince you that they're beautiful. So it would be nice to have a book that would tell you when your $40 coin is really a $14,000 coin, or when that $800 coin that they say is beautifully toned has been created in like some sort of gas filtration system and left on a windowsill for 3 weeks and is going to be black by the time you get it in your mailbox. So, but anyway, until that comes out, this is probably the best handy guide you have for Morgan silver dollars. And again, it's in the 6th edition, and I think it's $19.95. Affordable. All right. This is a $40 book. This is kind of big. This is a guidebook of silver war tokens in its 3rd edition. This is obviously a specialty area. But one of the cool things about this, guys, if you want to cherry pick people, cherry pick dealers, cherry pick eBay or wherever you have it, cherry pick your flea market. There are a lot of interesting Civil War medals and tokens that you can get for a song that are quite nice, and you can turn a little tidy profit in it. So this has pictures and sort of information about the different Civil War tokens. It's fairly exhaustive, and it was written by Q. David Bowers. And it's got, Bowers has put a huge Civil War token collection together himself. He's been a member of the Civil War Token and Medal Society, which is a good group to be involved. They actually published a really nice pamphlet, I guess a newsletter pamphlet. So there's that book. Can you believe it? We're halfway done, and only halfway done. These are all the new books. Like in the last month I've gotten, these are all the new books. Okay, so this is the official Red Book Guide to United States paper money. So this is really sort of your, this is, it shows some full color photos, some descriptions. This is your basic primer into U.S. paper money. I mean, you want to see some like basically high-end paper money, you can check out our Anderson collection videos on YouTube, but this will give you an idea of the different series, and you know, from $1 notes all the way up to the big denominations. Again, some of these are going to be out of the price range of most collectors, but you can put together a pretty broad collection of paper money and most grades for a reasonable price, and this will be a great resource for you if you want to do that. This is Robert Shipp's book. This is Pleasure and Profit, 100 Lessons for Building and Selling a Collection of Rare Coins. This book actually took me by surprise. I was not familiar with Robert Shipp's first edition, but essentially what he does in this book is he talks about the process that he undertook to build his collection, denomination by denomination, and he puts it in the perspective of like how his collection differed from some of the great collections, how his strategies to build it worked and didn't work. I mean, you will see instances where he makes mistakes and he writes about what those mistakes were and how he made them, and then he kind of gives you like his insight, you know, after the fact, like if I could have done it right, this is what I would have done. In a lot of ways, you know, as he developed as a collector, he got better at telling which, you know, being able to use his own personal compass to see which coins were going to be good for him or not. He goes into what the auction description said about coins. Like here's an example. This is a Liberty seated, no motto above eagle dollar from 1849. I'm really terrible at showing you pages. Okay, and so you see here, this is like an auction description, you know, and it talks about the coin as being somewhat proof-like with frosty motifs and reflected fields. I mean, it goes on, and then you know, he talks about like how the coin was made and you know, what he was looking at when he bought it, what the prices were, what the comparables were, and then he gives you the lessons, you know, like what a strategy would be if you're going to go for those coins. All right. So there we got Bob Leonard's Curious Currency. You know, this is kind of more of a generalist kind of book. If you are interested in sort of bizarre money or primitive money, there is pictures of that, and cowrie shells and wampum and seashell money and money from the Iron Ages. You know, so like I said, it's sort of a generalist book, sort of an etymology of what coins or money was throughout different civilizations. Here's cool. There's some skull money. How would you like to buy a Chipotle burrito with that? Huh? Maybe I do. I like this this part. It deals with playing cards and money. It's, right there. I like playing cards, like old playing cards. They're really cool. So anyway, that's Bob Leonard's book. It's $17 again from Whitman. And the last book I bought, this one was a little more expensive. I think it was $75. This is the half cent 1793 to 1857 story, America's Greatest Little Coin by EAC President Bill Eckberg. This is phenomenal. Of course, I got him. He personalized it. It's like, Charles, thanks for all you do for numismatics. I was joking with him that they should write it, Charles, thanks for nothing, but I guess he didn't want to do that. So this is cool if you collect half cents. You know, obviously this is an up-to-date die by die study of the coins with pointers and how you can determine which varieties you're looking at. This is like for cherry pickers or for sophisticated collectors, an essential book. He had a super special edition bound in leather, which I think he made 10. He wanted $400 for it. I couldn't afford it. I'm not a multimillionaire, so. But I did get this version, and I'm glad I did. Everything Bill does is like 100% class and well researched, and he's super knowledgeable. So those are the books I'm looking at right now, and you got to keep current. I always tell people that I think your library is where it's basically your best investment, because if you get a book and the book gets out of date, you're out $20 when you buy a new one. You buy a bad coin, and no telling how much you're out. So let me go through some of these comments and see if I can answer any of your questions or comment on what you said. I got to go way back, the beginning. Also, I want to thank everyone for showing up. Let's see. Coin book fetish. Yeah. I've got a ton of coin books. I wonder if I have a coin book on the shelf that's like really off the beaten path. Oh yeah. I got one for you. If you just give me a second. So, you're going to go an off the beaten path book about coins that I highly recommend. And I don't even know where you're going to find it. But it's an ethnographic study of traditional money by Charles Morgan. And remember I was showing you those cowrie shells and things like that? Well, this goes like completely into it like in a major way. You have, check. You got like a variety rundown of different types of money from different civilizations all over the world. Again, I was showing you that playing card money. Here it is, more in depth. But this book is phenomenal. I'm pretty sure it's going to be much more expensive than the. This is like $80. You can get Bob Leonard's for cheaper, but if you get this and you're like, man, I really want to learn more about it. This book, I really enjoyed sitting with this. So there's my most fetishistic coin book I have. All right, so let's see. What else do we got? Can't email. Wish I could. Sorry to hear that. I saw that at the fun show. Don't like use BCE or CE. Hi, Chris. I submitted a sweet proof seated $50 to PCGS. Should come back soon. So what do you think it's going to grade, Hidden Numismatist? Did you get this one raw, or are you crossing it? Let's see. What else? I know stackers love Morgans. Stackers used to really love Morgans because you could get them at face value. But not so much anymore. Let's see. What we got here? Who wrote the half-cent book? That's Bill Eckberg, William R. Eckberg. There might be I don't know if there's an ad for it at the eacs.org website for all the American coppers, or you can get it on Amazon. I'm not 100% sure. I got it from him personally. Coley and Fanning might sell it because they had some at the show. And again, it's $75, but I mean, you're basically, he's not getting rich off of this. This is like a hardbound book. It's it's full color, self-published book, so. I did make it to the Seated Fest and saw some amazing coins. I think we shot some video. I think we had Lynn Oxberger there with some really rare quarters. So we'll see if any of that makes it up. Eckberg. I'll show you again. Eckberg. William R. Eckberg. So what else is going on? So I got a pretty good vibe about how the coin market's going. If you guys have been buying coins, I think most dealers are in a good mood about what's going on. I haven't gotten a 29W quarter and change yet. It's kind of pissing me off. I don't know if any of you guys have seen one yet. I've gone to the bank. I've said, hey, I'd like to buy some quarter rolls, and it's all like repackaged junk. There's no Eckberg. But if you guys have gotten any of those quarters, you're in better shape than I am. I think the mint should continue. Yeah, thank you, Earl. I'd like to listen to you. I bet you're much more interesting than me. Um, I'd like to see something change, but I haven't gotten any yet. So who knows? I hope the Mint continues to do it, because I think the buzz that is generated from collectors looking in change for these coins is great for the market, and I think that in the long run, like if you go back 10 or 15 years and you have, these W quarters alongside the other ones, I think people will, genuinely want to collect them. I think that the 2019 W quarter, not the penny, not the reverse proof penny or the uncirculated penny, but the quarter is going to do far better in the long term than the 1996 W dime did. Again, anytime the Mint makes something and puts it in a set, most of those sets stay intact. And if they don't stay intact, they're broken up so they can be graded, right? So because of that, you're not going to diminish the number of coins greatly. But with these quarters, there's going to be like 30 years from now, someone's going to pull a very fine or extra fine W quarter out, and it's going to be worth like $1, $1.50, $2. So these are things that are always going to be collected, and I think it's great. I hope the Mint continues it. I mean, if they did this for the next 10 years, and there was like, 2 million W this and 2 million W that, I think it would just be great for the hobby as a whole. It doesn't cost them anything extra, and it's a great chase. Being around and collecting coins in 1999 when the state quarters came out, I can tell you that when the state quarters came out, I could go to my local bank and BF nowhere and ask the bank for the new quarters, and I would get them. I got the New York quarter that way, the Vermont quarter, the Rhode Island quarter that way, and but these W quarters aren't the same. I mean, I think the way coins are distributed in the system are different now. I mean, I have a pretty major bank, a Wells Fargo bank here. I just can't get brand new rolls from them because they don't order them that way, at least not here. So you get those quarters, man, good luck. And yeah, I don't know what the grade would have to be to get them graded, to make it worth it to you. Now, of course, if you get the first one that gets submitted, you can get a couple grand from PCGS or NGC. But I just I think they're going for like $40-$50 for 5s on eBay. 6s are about 100. So it's a quarter. So anyway, that's cool. All right, so let's see. Crazy premiums and conditions census W quarters in the future. Yeah, I think you might see it. The 95W Silver Eagle, I mean, all right, so I'll tell you. When I go to the U.S. Mint Forum every year, they've had them for a couple of years now. I go there, and I always try to give them ideas that I think would help collectors. And when I say help collectors, I don't mean an idea that's going to help every single person, but an idea that by and large would benefit collectors and give them enthusiasm, excitement about chasing something, even if they don't get it, and also bring other people and make them think about coin collecting as something that's fun. This last year, the Mint was hinting about this W program. They didn't say anything about the quarters, okay, but they were asking about putting something, a freemium, they called them, a freemium item inside their products. And so I believe what they were talking about at this point was the W coin, the penny. And some of the people at the forum, and I can't name them, it's the rules, but some of the people at the forum were trying to tell the Mint, it's maybe make it so that it's random what you get, so that way people will buy more of them. So think about it this way. Let's say they had the different denominations, but you weren't guaranteed one, but they only came in Mint proof sets. So now you buy one proof set, you get one, you buy a second one, maybe you get a duplicate of it, or maybe you get a different one, but you ultimately have to buy lots of proof sets to have any hope of getting a full set. And I go to them and I say, guys, this is a terrible idea. It's you're just going to anger everybody. You're going to make people just go completely furious at you, that you're making them spend all this money on all the stuff they don't need. I said, if you're going to do it, and I think you should, make a W set, put a penny in one product, like the proof set, put a dime in another product, like the Mint set, put a quarter in another product, so that way you can spread it out over the course of the year. And you have your commemorative coin, you have your bullion coin, you have whatever it is. I mean, within reason. And then maybe somebody decides, hey, I want the whole set, and to get the whole set, I gotta buy these 8 different mint products. I said, if you're going to do it where you're putting it in a product, do it that way. But we had no idea that the mint was going to try to put it in change. And the idea of putting the coin in change, I think, is the best idea, best possible idea, because that creates collectors. And I think that they should just continue to do that, make that an annual thing, put the quarters or the dollars or whatever in change. Well, I can't do the dollars, nobody wants them. By the way, the official CoinWeek name for the innovation dollars is the Flow-B dollars. You will see that every time we write about them. Terrible idea for a series. So then there's that. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just thrilled that they put that out for you guys. What else is going on? Pretty much that kind of covers what I have prepared to talk about. We're going to, like I said, next week we got Mike Markowitz has a new Roman coin article we're going to put up about the earliest Russian coins. I'll have a big sort of a CAC analysis coin article, and we'll just take it from there, So going to be busy at CoinWeek. Again, if you like comic books at all, again, I don't push it down your throat, but any support you have for our comic website, comicweek.com, would be appreciated. We're going to try to, like I said, build up these different collectible websites, and I think there's a lot of cross-pollination. In fact, we're doing a Batman review, and there's a giant Lincoln penny in his Bat Cave, and I just think that if we can get good writing in front of the people who create the different pop culture items, video games and comics and card trading and stuff like that, if we can get them to be more numismatically oriented, I think that would be a funnel to bring collectors of these other collectible products into coins, which is our goal. Like I said, our first love is coins, and it will always be that. What's my earliest red book on my shelf? 1947, my first one. Also, most of the red books I have on the shelf are the contributor versions, because I've been a red book contributor for about 4 or 5 years. So when you get those prices and you're angry that they suck, it's not my fault. I tell them the right prices. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later, and I appreciate you guys stopping by. 22 viewers in the middle of the night with no warning. It's pretty cool. Like I said, I'll be around on Twitter at CoinWeek_Morgan. If you follow me, you can. I respond pretty much to everybody. So I'll leave you with that, and I appreciate it. Remember, if you want that book, that Kagan book, I need a cool publishable coin story. First 4 people send it to me. We'll get it. My email, I won't say it again, but it's you can get to me in the email on the CoinWeek website. It's published there. So, all right, everybody, take it easy. Have a good weekend. I hope you guys have a good time with your coins and your families and everything, and I appreciate your support. Thanks.